But first of all, bonjour, and welcome to our podcast, Fiction After Lunch.
Season 2!
Season 2!
Yay!
And this was Sam. I'm Mindy, and you are?
Niona.
Hello, and welcome back. So, what are we doing in this podcast? Why are we sitting here today?
In this season, we read... It sounds weird when I read it from my book, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds really like... It sounds like you have a script, and you actually have a script, so it sounds like it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
In this season, Mindy, we read a story I wrote when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
But before we continue with the story, what did we have for lunch?
Yeah, Niona, what did we have? Do you remember?
We had a noodle salad. It was very tasty.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it was really good. With fish inside. So I thought in the beginning it's a weird combination, but it was actually quite good.
Oh, so normally you
That's
don't eat noodle salad with fish inside?
Never ate noodle salad with fish inside. So this was the first time.
Okay, so what kind of noodle salad do you normally eat? Like the typical German one with mayonnaise? Or?
Yes, and normally I also don't like noodle salads that much, but this one was really good. And the one with mayonnaise, I really don't like, no.
Okay. Do you also not like the potato salad with mayonnaise? Because this one is also...
No. I like the classical Zwiebeln potato salad which is with vinegar.
Okay, so you maybe don't like in general like too much mayonnaise in
On my salad, no, I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah, it's also weird when you call it a salad and afterwards you feel like you need to sleep for
Yes,
2 days.
True. That's true.
Yeah. And this was also a recipe that Sam, like, not recipe, but all of the ingredients were from you, so...
Yeah. I just looked what I have left in my cupboard, and I brought it over and said, let's put it in a salad.
Yeah. And it worked very good, so... We still have some leftovers, so maybe afterwards, or maybe for dinner we can still eat some noodle salad.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards we also had some ice cream. Is it called ice cream also? No. Some ice. Like an ice stick? Pinnacle? No.
No.
What is it when it's just frozen...
Water.
Water.
Frozen water.
With juice.
With taste.
Juice. Water ice? No.
No. I don't know.
So maybe... Okay, we had some ice.
Yeah.
Afterwards. An ice stick.
Ice stick, okay. Okay.
With some fruits inside and everything. Which was also very nice. And Niona brought us how's it called? An iced tea?
Summer tea, I think.
Summer iced tea.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yes.
with some berries, kind of.
Johannisbeere is black currant.
Black currant.
Oder? Schwarze Johannisbeere.
I think cassis is also possible. I think there's also
Yeah.
an English term, cassis, if I remember correct. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
cassis and citrus. Citron.
Lemon.
It sounded weird. It was so... Okay, it sounds English, but somehow not correct.
It's definitely not the correct expression for this.
I think we say it in every episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I always forget it.
It's something I used to say, and then you adopted this wrong thing from me.
Yeah. Normally when you say something in English, I'm like, okay, this is correct. I don't need to ask.
But for example, there's also citric acid, which sounds a little bit like citron.
Yeah.
And it's Zitronensäure in German, so...
Yeah?
Like citric itself, the word. I don't know. Lemon is the correct one,
weird.
so we just stay with this one. Yeah. And so people, how have you been? Like, when was the last time we recorded an episode? I think 1 month ago, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Like, it was also before you finished your animation at some point, and you still had the recording from Niona.
Yeah.
Which you recorded on a parking lot or something.
Yes.
Screaming, I lost my arm!
Oh no,
I lost my arm!
People
Several
look very
times.
weird when passing by.
I can imagine the people looking at you like, whoa, what the hell is happening?
The fun thing was about the animation and your part in it, which you should go and look at it at YouTube. It's on YouTube, and we made an animation. I made it up on the spot when we walked out. We had fun together, and I wanted to include you in the animation because we also watched it together when we met here. And I made it up on the spot when we walked outside, and this is how this part was made.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually thinking about your thought process, about the story itself. Okay, I need to think of some things that I can include in the story. It's just some guy who loses some limbs or anything. That's totally legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Also very kind of you.
You're welcome.
Do you want to include Niona also in the next animation?
I'm not done with the script yet.
No.
No, I
It sounded like this. No.
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 I mean, yes, but I don't know where. I don't know where.
That's
This
not
is
a
the
problem.
thing. Yeah. Same lines.
Same line all
Just
over
again.
You'd be really good at this line of the story.
I think at some point you can also do like a flashback.
Yeah.
Like, every time, like, the story so far,
Yeah.
and then you just show this part where she's screaming like, oh no, I lost my arm or something.
Yeah.
And then flashback ends.
Last time.
Last time. Like the most important scene.
Absolutely.
Like as a fun joke for the next
Yeah, yeah.
episode. I think it would be very nice. So yeah, and but regarding the story for this season,
Yeah.
because it has been so long, I don't really remember what happened.
Good thing I have my notes.
So you have a summary. Okay.
Yeah. So the unnamed main character is on her way to school, and her older brother Rico is with her, and she met her classmate Marcy, who is a bitch, in the bus. I like that you just wanted to drink something.
Yeah.
Couldn't perfectly time it, but almost an accident could have happened.
Yes, maybe I shouldn't drink. Wait a moment.
I'm waiting. Drinking pause. Okay. So they walk through the town for a while, and the unnamed main character feels watched by someone. This is what happened last time.
Oh, so this was also the part where it ended then. That I feel
Yes, I
watched.
think they arrived at the school.
Okay. Yeah, then let's go into it, maybe.
Okay.
So you're reading yellow, I'm reading the white one, and you're reading the blue one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as any school, there were of course these one-person groups that stood around individually. Sometimes their classmates watched but did not dare to go to them, or those who just stared into the void. We called them Moths, people without friends. So in German, Menschen ohne Freunde.
Yeah. We had this abbreviation at school, and we used to call it people. It's a bit like a slur, but so that's what we used to say. I don't know if there's any equivalent in the English language for this, because it's not even a real thing that is used overall in Germany. It's just.
Oh,
a
we
thing
also said
you
Moths.
also?
Yeah.
Oh, you also had it?
Yeah, we also
What?
said Moths.
Really?
Yeah. You
We
know?
didn't have it, no.
Oh, interesting. No,
So I was like, okay, maybe it's like a village thing that just...
Yes,
but
I thought it might have been a local thing. You two are the same age, aren't you?
25.
28.
Oh, okay. Might also be an age thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then it's still very mean, I think. Like when you just call people, oh yeah, you're a moth.
Yes,
Like
yes.
you are a
that's-
person
Was a
without
mean.
friends.
Yes, it was a mean friend. Mean word. Mean friend.
Yeah.
Friend. You could also be the friend of this person, but also not be the friend. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the official thing is MOF, Menschen ohne Fahrrad, which is in the Duden.
Oh, this one exists? I didn't know.
Yes,
In the
it's a real
dictionary.
thing. In the dictionary, yes. That's the real abbreviation. Menschen ohne Fahrrad, people without a bike.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Just know it as Menschen ohne Freunde.
But why do you need how's it called? Why do you need people without a bicycle? Like when is this used?
I don't know. I just remember it was a question in Kreuzworträtsel.
in a quiz or something.
In a quiz, yeah.
Quiz.
Crossword.
A word quiz.
Yeah, in the newspaper they have this little quiz thingies and you write letters in it. This was a question and the answer was people without a bike. MOF.
I cannot imagine any scenario where you need to say this. Like, oh yeah, you're a moth. Like, person without a bike.
Maybe also when you want to bully someone.
Most likely.
You can use this like anytime when you want to bully something.
Yeah.
Let me bully someone today. I will just say he's a moth. He's like a person without a bicycle. A person without friends.
Yeah.
It just says nothing.
Yeah, like, I don't know, for me, it doesn't mean, like, I don't know. I think people in our school were not so badly bullied or something. Like, okay, or maybe I don't remember.
Maybe you were the bully.
No, I never bullied someone. I normally protected the people who were bullied.
Yeah, what was the thing?
I never use these words.
9 out of 10 people don't get bullied, you know? It's like this thing that the 9 people bully the one person that is.
Oh, yeah, but normally, like, I don't know, how's it called? When someone got bullied, I normally go to them and become their friends.
Ah.
Like, there was one of these, how's it called, very hyperactive little child in my school.
Okay.
And he got bullied on the first day. Like, there was another person who, how's it called, had a lemonade and just spilled it all over him on the first day. They didn't know each other.
Oh, wow.
So it already started. I just passed him. I was like, I felt so bad for him. Mm-hmm. And I actually, I don't know, when we talk normally, I really liked him. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, I just decided, I want to become your friend. And then we became friends. But then the people also tried to bully me, but it didn't work.
Okay.
So, I don't know. So, But they never called, like, moths because he had friends then, so.
Oh, yeah.
So it was okay. Maybe some other people also. Okay, let's continue. One of them, for example, was Gordon.
What?
There's actually a person I know. So
Oh, no.
who was called exact this name, and I'm like, okay, what are you doing here?
I like this name.
It's a really cool name.
It's not your friend from school, is it?
It would be so funny. What? No. He was a weak nerd who always wore these bright polunders and pulled his pants all the way to the top.
Do you remember this fashion thing where the boys would wear their pants at their knees?
Yeah,
Almost?
I didn't like this.
Also when you were in school?
Yeah, when the pants, like, I don't know, when you don't really wear pants anymore.
Yeah,
when you can see the underwear.
Yeah, when you look like you just went out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like, I don't know.
Me neither.
Niona, do you like?
No. Just wear your pants correctly.
Yeah.
I think it's not in fashion anymore, even here.
I actually saw one
Yes?
guy
Oh,
who
no.
did this.
But these are most of the times it's just weird hip-hop dudes who think they're really cool.
Like, I don't know, doesn't it feel also weird, like, that all the time that the pants can go down? Like, isn't it more like at the border of going down?
Most likely, yes.
Like, why? Why do you want to show your underwear? Also,
I don't know.
I don't... People, if you wear this, if you are the knee pants wearer, please tell us why you do this. Okay.
He had dark hair and blue eyes, wore glasses, and was the best in almost every subject except sports and art. A real picture book nerd. And at that moment, he looked at us.
When he noticed my gaze, he turned red and looked away again. Exactly this scene was repeated several times that day. For example, before school, during lessons, and during breaks.
Oh, Gordon has a crush. Why was he watching me? Maybe he's always been watching me and I just never noticed it. Maybe this morning, on the way to school?
Nonsense. I couldn't even imagine it. The way Gordon sometimes behaved, you might think he's too scared in the morning when it's still dark to even set foot outside the door.
Poor Gordon.
I don't think there will be a romance.
You don't think there will be a romance between, like, main character and Gordon? Or...
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it.
because of the way she describes
Yes.
him, like, yeah, he's just weak and a nerd, and he's not good in sports and art.
Yes.
And he's looking at me, no, he cannot have a crush on me. I don't want him to have a crush on me.
Please not.
Okay, and then there's written that some things are missing.
Yes, this was a note to myself because I never finished the story, and if I had finished it, I would have written some things happening in between these two scenes.
Okay, but the original one is that things now continue, but
Yes.
you yourself thought now that you would have liked to have something in between here.
No, little me
Little you?
thought things should have been put in there.
Ah,
So-
okay.
I already knew that the flow wasn't right. That there should have been more written between
so
these
you-
two scenes.
So you wrote out, like, sceneries that you...
I wrote, no, don't call it sceneries.
Scenes.
I wrote two scenes, and after rereading it, when I was still in 7th grade, I said things missing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought about all this in the last lesson, so Latin. Lost in thoughts, I stared through my vocabulary.
This is a weird sentence, actually. She had last lesson was Latin?
Yeah, I thought about all this in the last Latin. So in the last lesson, it was Latin.
Yeah.
Because it was the last lesson.
okay.
It was Latin.
Now I get the sentence.
Yeah. Is it, like, I just imagine... Can you write this like this, or is it a wrong sentence?
I think it's
No.
a wrong sentence in English.
Okay.
It's a translation error once more.
I thought about all this in the last lesson, so Latin.
Which was Latin, I guess what you would say.
Yes, and a comma in between.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lesson so Latin. Okay. But you have to keep in mind that I was usually able to work well, but not today.
Trudy, please come to the blackboard.
Said our teacher. On the way forward, I stumbled. Either someone had given me a leg, or my own feet had been in my way. Anyway, I slammed lengthwise on the floor. I heard a lot of people laughing, and I also had to join in. I wasn't embarrassed, and I hadn't hurt myself. The teacher hadn't even noticed.
How did the teacher not notice this? Like, okay,
If someone fell down in my class, I guess I would have noticed.
yeah, it's not even like she slammed lengthwise on the floor. So she
And
just
everyone
lying
was
there,
laughing.
and everyone was laughing, and teacher's like, I don't see anything. I don't know.
Where is she coming? Why is she not coming?
Maybe the teacher is just looking at the blackboard. Maybe it's the math teacher seeing some formulas and it's like really inside of his own mind.
But it's Latin.
It's Latin.
Ah!
So
Maybe some Latin vocabularies and he's thinking about it.
yeah, the teacher would usually look at her notebook and
Be distracted.
yeah. Also, what have we learned?
She's Trudy.
Yeah.
It's actually the main character's name.
Yeah.
Ah, true.
And I really like her, like, character of the main character, who is just like, okay, maybe someone gave me a leg or my own feet or something.
I want to point out we don't say you gave me a leg. But,
Oh no, I lost my arm.
No,
Oh no, I lost my leg.
no, but like someone
Made her trip? No.
made her trip, put
Out a leg.
a classmate put their leg in the way so Trudy would stumble over it.
I just have in my head now a leg.
Yeah.
Like he's putting a leg. Like
Yeah.
like how is it called in a prothese.
Ah, yeah.
Just randomly throw this protease in and stumbles over
Yeah,
it.
take it. She's hit by the head, she's falling down.
Yeah. That's a lot funnier. She gets hit
By a prothese.
Yeah.
Like a fake leg.
Yeah.
And then it also made sense that she also starts to laugh because it's like so absurd.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's most here?
Trudy, please decline Ignavia in future too.
She said without looking up from her book. I got up and shuffled at the chalkboard. I
Towards.
shuffled towards the chalkboard. I quickly scratched a few fantasy words. White on green. What did she do? I quickly scratched a few fantasy words.
It's not like scratched.
She wrote down some words.
Yeah, but in a messy handwriting.
Ah, okay.
This is what I imagined. Like, we did have to decline a lot of words in Latin class.
Mm-hmm.
And
what does decline here mean? Like, I don't have Latin.
You'll see. Give me a second.
Okay.
Well, first of all, when you decline words, you write a bunch of words and the ending is important. And if you write unreadable enough, it might seem right, even if you don't know if it's the right word. Yeah, now you can scroll down a bit. So, a bit more.
Oh!
Yeah,
okay.
This means declining. We have it on the board right now. Maybe I put it on Instagram.
Yes, it's like a table of singular and plural, and
then you have the different, I think it's called cases.
Yes, it's called cases.
Genitive, dative, nominative.
Accusative, and in Latin you also have ablative.
What's ablative?
Scroll down.
Oh, okay. That's
a Latin lesson.
Oh my.
Yeah, ablative is an indirect case and expresses, for example, Trennung oder Wegbewegung.
I think there's something like this in French also, but with one of their the imparfait. Imparfait is also quite weird, and I think it's also if you go away or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like to describe a direction, like a movement.
No, so the imparfait is, so maybe if someone can speak French, I'm really sorry if I explain it wrong, but my last French lesson is several years ago, and I never liked imparfait, but it's also for the past, so like passé composé, but imparfait is, I never really get when you use imparfait and when you use passé composé.
But now you are talking about times.
Yes.
Ablative is more like a direction.
Ah, okay.
For an explanation, I took somno tibi privo, which means ich raube deinen Schlaf, which I now
stealing your sleep.
Yeah, which I now realize is a bad example because it sounds weird in English. I'm stealing your sleep.
It sounds really weird, yes.
Yeah, I was in my German brain because of the Latin things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here's a lesson in Latin. And the joke about the whole thing, please decline Ignavia in future too, is that it is not a verb. It is an object. And future two means you have to have a verb. And if you scroll down, you see what a verb looks like. So you have, how do I explain it in English? You have a word, ein Wortstamm.
Like you have the basic verb, you can say, and then you change it for the different cases. Like
yes,
the verb itself.
Then you have many, many different endings. And for every tense, you have different endings. And for every person, you have different endings. So this is what I was going through in 7th grade. For an example, I took amare, which means to love. And in future too, how do I even say something in future too in English? In Deutsch?
In German?
In German it would have been ich werde geliebt haben. In English it means I will have loved.
Isn't it with would then?
I would have loved.
Would have been loved.
No, this is passive.
Okay. But
I will have loved. I'm going to have loved.
I never heard this.
Oh, it also exists in English, but...
Yeah. I'm not sure anymore. I should have looked it up in English.
Yes.
Oh my. So, but what you mean is that the word that she needs to decline, so that she needs to write down different, like in future too, is not possible to do because it's an object. And
It's
you
an
can only
object.
do this with verbs.
Yeah, Ignavia means cowardice. Feigheit of Deutsch.
Cowardness, yes.
Yeah.
And But then why does the teacher, is it more like a joke from the teacher? Yeah, like, please decline this. And she's just writing down like several words and it's like not working because you cannot do this.
Yeah, I think I imagined it just to be a cruel thing from the teacher. So it's something she can solve.
Mm.
Have you looked it up?
Yes, it's he will have finished, for example. So, like you said.
Yeah. Yay! I know my English.
You know your English very good.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people who actually took Latin classes, and I remember that none of them actually got a good grade. I don't know, maybe it was also the teacher, but all of them told me that it was really hard to learn.
Yeah.
And that they never really understood it also.
Yeah, same here. We also had a really bad teacher. This story is me working with my trauma. And
Yeah, more school trauma.
yeah.
Finally.
Things are coming back slowly. Yes, she was very mean and we had to learn so many words because you look at this and it wouldn't be that hard if it always was like that. But there are so many exceptions and there are so
The
many...
exceptions.
Yeah.
I heard about
Oh,
it.
it's in French the same. It's horrible.
yeah.
Because in French you also have for every person
Yeah.
a different ending. And also there are so many exceptions. There are more exceptions than regular cases.
Same in Latin. I also studied French for a semester.
Yeah.
So I know. I don't know why I did it, but... yeah.
Like, why did you want to learn it for one semester? And why did you stop? Because of the exceptions or...
I think it was pretty shitty to do at the computer. I hated that you had to unmute when the professor asked something and then they couldn't hear and...
so you took a class at university.
Yeah, I took a class
But
at
an online
university, but it was an online class and the online class didn't work well, which made it even more difficult.
Yeah, because I remember, didn't you also work with Duolingo? I think another friend of mine tried to learn French with Duolingo also.
I learn other stuff with Duolingo, whichever I'm currently obsessed with. So I did learn Spanish, Russian, Danish, and a few other things with Duolingo, but always just the base courses, because I never had this obsession for very long.
Okay. And also maybe not for Latin, as I see.
They didn't have Latin at the time when I still studied in school. I think Duolingo just added it very recently.
Okay. But for now, let's get back to the story.
This is wrong.
The teacher said.
I was a little confused because she still hadn't looked up.
Oh.
What? Who was confused and who didn't look up?
So
Trudy is confused and the teacher didn't even have to look at the at the blackboard. Blackboard? Oh.
I murmured and wiped away a few words. I like that she's like, okay, then I just wipe away some words. And she doesn't even care what she's writing down, so.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a trick question. And that was the part.
So this was the chapter also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not a chapter, but a part. This was how far I could do it. I had prepared it when we last recorded because I didn't know time-wise what would be a good length. And I couldn't continue it since you told me that we would meet up and record because I had a very bad headache.
No.
And I wasn't feeling well. I'm fine today. I slept a lot better. But my heating system is broken at my flat. And it makes a lot of loud noises at night.
Oh no.
I'm used to loud noises because I live directly at the train tracks. But not tram. It is. And it's very loud where I live. And I sleep with the window open because it's warm right now. We have summer. But the heating system is broken in a way that it sounds like a waterfall at random intervals at night, and it wakes me.
Oh, no.
And I had it for over a week. I had it for over a week.
I think we also discussed about this once that your neighbors or something are using the heating, like maybe the heating
Yes,
thing.
we talked to Mac about it.
Yeah.
I also talked to my father about it, and he thinks it might be because the Abflussventil is broken.
The sewer witch? No.
No. There's a thing to close the water, and that little thing that you can use to close the water in the heating is broken.
To stop the water from flowing, kind of.
Yes.
Oh.
And at random intervals, maybe when the heat changes, not necessarily because of the tenants, but because of the surroundings, it makes water flow out.
So is it the things that you have like in your apartment, or is it more like a general one?
I think it's in the basement because it floods down, and whenever I go to the go outside. In the elevator, I can smell water. I think it might be flowing out.
Okay, that's not good. I think you should definitely call your land lawyer or someone.
Landlord. Or landlady.
Landlady.
I mean, it's something that involves everyone in the building, and I don't want to be the one to call.
But maybe it directly flows where your apartment is, so maybe other people don't recognize it or something?
I don't think. I don't know. Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe you can tell your father to call the landlord if you don't want to do it yourself. So
I told my father, and he'll pick me up tonight, and he'll have a look in the basement because I don't want to go to the basement alone.
Okay, then that's understandable.
Maybe he even repairs it himself.
I can imagine your father doing this.
He does stuff like
but
that.
you cannot joke around with this. Like, I had the water problem in my old apartment, and it's...
Yeah.
At some point, when the water is like maybe over you or in the surrounding,
above,
like in the near of your apartment, you could get close to your apartment. You could get how's it called again?
Mold.
And then all of your apartment need to be renovated, and then at some point you cannot go into your apartment anymore.
Yeah.
Or some.
You have to sleep on your couch again.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah. There's one more thing we wanted to talk about, which is regarding our book.
So because we ended the chapter, which is like, but first of all, let me just...
Yeah.
So, we know that the main character, that other people don't really expect something from her, maybe, because the teacher is also like, he's not really looking at the blackboard, and he's already saying that it's wrong.
It's a she, by the way.
It's a she,
It's a female teacher, and she is very bad.
Yeah. And
based on my real teacher.
Okay. Okay, so Trudy has similar teachers like you had.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is she actually bullied, or is it maybe that
I guess the teacher, no one have expected that anyone can do it.
I mean the scenery before, when she was like, when a leg was thrown at her or something. But she doesn't see it herself as being bullied. And I don't know anymore if in the last chapter she mentions that she has some friends, because she's also talking about the other guy as Moth. Like, as a guy without friends. So she herself thinks of her maybe as a little bit higher, so she has friends, she has a brother or something.
Yeah, she's a little higher in the hierarchy of the schoolyard.
Maybe in the middle.
I think in the last part, we talked about how Trudy stood with her girlfriends, and you laughed at me because she has a harem.
True.
Yeah, you remember now? So yes, she does have people she calls her friends, and she also has her brother, and apparently Gordon doesn't have anyone. But still, kids are cruel in 7th grade, so
true.
she can get feet thrown at her anyway.
That's what happened to me all the time. No. Okay, so it's... Okay. And what can we... So this is the end of the chapter?
No, it's end of a part. It's not really... I didn't really write chapters, I just...
Okay, so this is the end of this part. And now, because you know what will happen, maybe it might be interesting for both of us, for Niona and me, to figure out, or to think about, okay, what could happen in the next... Chapter. Part.
Sorry.
More Latin.
More Latin. Next time she will be asked.
Maybe she will. Maybe, or maybe she will talk finally to Gordon. Why is he staring at her?
Oh, Oh, I would like to see this, like...
If she recognized that he's staring the whole day today at her, so maybe she will finally talk to him about it.
Maybe she has like a little feet all the time on her head, stuck in her hair, and he's like, okay, this is weird. And therefore he's always looking at her,
Maybe.
trying to put the feet out of her head.
And maybe we also find out if it was Gordon or someone else staring in the bus at her. I think it was in the bus.
Oh,
I think it was
she
on the
looked
way
at
through the
bus?
town.
On the way through the town, okay.
Yeah.
So when someone was staring at her.
So you assume that it's also a human being who was watching
I'm
over
not
her.
sure,
and her
but I
brother.
think it's not Gordon who was staring at her. So he's staring at her at the school, but I don't think he was the person or the thing on the way which stared at her.
So you think that Gordon really has a crush on her, and maybe at some point there will be more, because he was just introduced, so I think he will also maybe get a bigger role in future, as also like as the, I don't know,
Marcy.
Marcy from the last one?
Yeah.
Who you introduced in the beginning as a bitch.
Yeah.
Who was, okay.
Maybe Marcy and Gordon get together.
Oh, I would love to see this. Like the nerd and the bitch kind of. Like, and then you just misjudge both of them maybe, so.
Maybe.
I would love to see this. So what is your prediction? So this is your prediction that that she will ask Gordon.
Yeah. And
Why
it wasn't
he stares at
Gordon
her.
who was staring, and we will find out that it wasn't Gordon staring at her on the way to school.
Okay. And also more Latin.
More Latin, of course.
Okay. I assume next time they will be in math class.
Could also be.
And she's good in math, so
Yeah.
I can imagine this. Sam is just looking at me.
I'm not sure, but I can very well imagine. I don't remember, honestly, but I can imagine I wrote actually a math class at some point because I was good at math.
Yeah, because you said that Trudy has like similar teachers as you had.
Yeah.
So it's more like a projection kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe far-fetched projection.
Yeah, it was a bit of a projection. I think we do that at that age. You
yeah,
just took
I
yourself
self-inserted myself completely. So
and I don't know. I didn't want to put myself in there.
with a name, so you just said Trudy.
No,
so.
not with a name, but also not with myself, but maybe a different version of myself.
So it's just the teachers, but not directly you.
Yes, not directly me.
Maybe as how's it called? It's a different dimension of yourself.
A
kind of.
different dimension.
not dimension, but yeah.
A different version, yeah.
Yeah, different version. So projection and version is, I think, the right.
Yeah, projection really is a good word in that case.
Okay, so we can really assume, like, maybe in the next chapter, you will be in math class and you will be like, or Trudy will be like, I can do this. I'm good at this. I'm also good at astronomy, so let me do this. Okay, I'm curious about this. Yeah, and you wanted to... Now you can talk about our book.
Yeah.
So here's now an update from us regarding
Our book.
season 1.
Yeah.
Which is where we normally try to talk a little bit about the books that we are currently working on. And
Yeah.
it's your stage.
Just wanted to mention it. There's not much of an update right now. We're still
Such a huge introduction for nothing.
I can imagine all the people hyped and waiting for news, and then like, oh no, nothing.
Yeah, I was also sad, but I'm also working on it, so I was like, okay, what kind of updates?
I didn't know what you were expecting from me, but we're still in the editing process. Mindy suggested some more descriptions, and I helped with the grammar. That's the update.
Yeah, that we are working on different tasks, you can say, when we are trying to update the book. And I don't know if we talked about this the last time, but I finished commenting, like to put comments on the first chapter.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now I'm at the second chapter, so this is my update.
Yes, and I accepted some of your changes and some I didn't.
You already changed something?
I already went through it.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's my update. Well, surprise for you.
That's
Isn't it?
actually a surprise for me. I was thinking that you only write fan fictions currently, so...
No, I'm not doing a lot of uni stuff, so so I'm currently writing a lot of fan fictions and poems, and I'm also working on our project as far as I could.
Okay. Yeah, well, what about the poems? I think this is something that you wanted to say.
Also not much of an update, but I joined our university's poetry club. which I was very excited about, and it was cool to, it was so scary to read something I wrote in front of other people.
How many people were there?
7 perhaps.
Okay.
But it was very different from... I mean, I'm reading stuff I wrote to other people in the podcast, and a lot more, I think, than were at the poetry club. But I think I write very differently when I write in German, because I assumed I am only allowed to write in German for the poetry club.
You assumed, but you can write in English.
Yeah, I found out last time that there are also English-speaking people in the poetry club. There's one American who's better at speaking American.
Wow, I can speak.
Yeah.
American guy.
Yeah. And this was very scary, but I was very proud of myself that I managed to read my stupid little poem.
It was not stupid. When you presented it to me, I think it was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, also maybe we can put it on our Patreon.
Maybe.
If you like.
Yeah, sure, why not? It's in German. That's the only thing. I translated it from my friends to English, but it sounds like shit in English. Because one thing I really like in poetry is rhymes. And I think the rhymes in my poems really make it. And it doesn't sound well.
Yeah, because in English you don't have the rhymes anymore, so just in Germany, in German it's really good, it rhymes every time, and then it's we have also a plot twist at the end, which really captures you at some point, and then in English, I don't know. Yeah,
that's the thing, the plot twist at the end.
Yeah. So maybe we can put this on our social media
sure,
or
why
on
not?
Patreon. So so this is also the point where we might introduce our social media.
Yeah.
Only if you don't have anything else you want to introduce, or maybe Niona, you have something you want to share. Also, maybe you joined some other club.
Would you like to read a poem to us?
I unfortunately don't have a poem.
Not right now.
I think it would be more fun if just you put out of your pocket.
Here's my poem. No, I'm really bad at poems writing, so I guess I also won't write a poem in the future. But I think there's nothing very interesting. I'm just working on my master thesis right now, so boring life, just working.
So you're the productive one.
Anyone has to be.
I think I'm more in the middle. I'm doing podcast stuff and I'm also working. And you're doing mainly working and you're doing mainly fanfiction and podcast stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting.
Yes, I'm writing so much fanfiction.
About which fandom?
Our Flag Means Death.
Oh.
Yeah, pirate series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I'm a huge
popular
fan
right now.
of... Yeah. Oh, I need to show you something. Oh my god. Why is it so funny? because I watched a series. So this is now our personal life, kind of. I watched a series which is called Tianguan Sifu, and in English it's Heaven's Official Blessing, and it's actually a Chinese anime. Mm-hmm. And I watched it because it was very popular and famous, so it had a lot of views, and I was like, okay, interesting. I never watched a Chinese anime, and then I watched it, and I became a fangirl of it.
Oh, okay.
Because there are 2 characters which I totally ship. And they are so good, and the animation is really, really nice. It is so beautiful.
Chinese animes are really beautiful.
Yeah, I was a little bit held back because I don't really like Chinese, the language. Sorry for all Chinese, I don't know, people who like it, but because I mainly only watched anime in Japanese, I felt okay, they need to be in Japanese. But then I listened to it in this anime, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, they're also very nicely drawn. So I read a manga in this case, then not anime.
What's a Chinese one? Or?
A Chinese manga, and the pictures were so beautiful. I just stared at these pictures because they were so nicely drawn.
Oh, I need to. Okay, I will afterwards. I will show you some pictures of this. Of this anime, and also it's a novel, and I have the novel there. Okay, I can show you afterwards. I brought myself the novel because I want to get more into details, and I want to know how it continues, because the first season only how's it called, captures the first novel, And yeah, so for everyone, watch our name, our flag means death, and watch Heaven's Official Blessing.
Yeah.
And watch Belle, which you are going to watch afterwards.
Yes,
in
I'm
the
going
cinema.
to cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we can go to our social media. Sorry for this.
Movie recommendation corner.
Yes.
I'm looking at my notes, but I haven't written it down in a year, I think.
Yeah, like our social media, right? Because if people want to get like more of this like personal life thingy or ideas, anything. Sorry,
we are on Instagram, Fiction After Lunch. We are on Tumblr, Fiction After Lunch. We are on Twitter, Fiction and Lunch. And we have a YouTube channel, which we already talked a lot about, Fiction After Lunch. Our links are all in the description below. You can find us on Patreon, and you can buy us a coffee for our lunch at Ko-fi. Mm-hmm. And we have an email account.
Which is fictionafterlunch@gmail.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what should be our last sentence? This is wrong.
This is wrong.
This is wrong.
Okay, so we just take it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for listening and see you in the next episode. And 3, 2, 1.
This is wrong!
Bye bye!